The assassination of Fred Hampton is very important. 1969. Fred Hampton, age 21, Mark Clark, age 22, are assassinated in a damn contract killing between the FBI and the Chicago Division and the Chicago Police, 2237 West Monroe Street. They're killed there. He's shot while he's sleeping in his bed. His partner, Kua Njeri, who's still alive, she's 8.5 months pregnant with their son. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., still alive, still struggling, swinging with both fists out there. In fact, Jeffrey Haas has an excellent book called The Assassination of Fred Hampton. It came out last year. And again, I don't know what I did with my copy. It's around here somewhere. I couldn't put my hands on it in 24 hours. But the killing of Fred Hampton is very important for a number of reasons. Fred Hampton, who grew up in the middle class, working class community, Fred Hampton, like Claudette Colvin, was a member of the NAACP Youth Division. In fact, he's president of the NAACP Youth Division. Fred Hampton began to, let me see if I pulled a couple of those books too, because I was able to put my hands on them, but if I don't see them right now. In fact, I would recommend for folks, if you really want to get a nice little single gloss piece, and we talked about this book before, Black Against Empire, The History and Politics of the Black Panther Party, a wonderful international version of the history of the Black Panther Party. There's a chapter in here, chapter 9, is it? Let me see. Chapter 10, Hampton and Clark. That tells you the history of how this thing fit. It's very important to understand because Fred Hampton, charismatic, well-spoken, no drugs, didn't drink, this kind of thing. Fred Hampton was the one, in fact, Jacoby Williams, for those of you who want a more academic gloss on this, Fred Hampton is one of the members who helps found the Illinois State Division branch of the Black Panther Party. It was a state level branch. Mark Clark was in town in Chicago. He got murdered there. He was in the house that night. He was the head of the Peoria branch, Peoria, Illinois. You know, Peoria, Illinois was also the birthplace of Richard Pryor, who's only about 7 years older than Mark Clark. But at any rate, they were all there for the meeting that they were having, the Illinois State Division. Jacoby Williams wrote a very good book called From the Bullet to the Ballot, which talks about how they're trying to build coalition politics. So just like in Detroit, where you have Black kind of bourgeois, like Judge Crockett, who is worried, who is trying to defend those who were attacked from the Republican New Africa. There was a shootout between the Republican New Africa and the police. The Republican New Africa was meeting at New Bethel Church. Reverend Franklin, C.L. Franklin, Aretha Franklin's father, is the pastor. He let the Republican New Africa meet there. Ms. Parks, on the staff of Conyers, is generating support for the RNA because they're going to try to railroad the RNA for shooting and all this kind of thing. So Judge Crockett, the Republican New Africa, is involved. All these politicians. Rosa Parks is building coalition up there, among others, to try to defend them and promote them. Remember that movie Detroit, John Boyega? I'm like, man, what they don't show you is that in that, what happened in Detroit when the police raided that after hours joint and shot up the place, killed these Black singers, performers, kind of thing. Again, white girls involved in the mix. After it was over, the Detroit community put the police on trial. Who was on the jury? The people's jury, among others, Rosa Parks. Convict those cops, even if just the people of Detroit convict these cops. So this kind of multiracial coalition, well, this Black coalition in Detroit was a multi-racial coalition in Chicago. Why? Fred Hampton says we should be able to build some coalition with these white boys. So why don't can we talk to them? He reaches out on all sides. He reaches out to the Young Patriots. The Young Patriots are white, they call their part of town, Chicago, hillbilly Harlem. He's just like white. Well, you thinking this is some MAGA type cats, except they also been kind of reading revolutionary stuff, and they saying we're all poor, we're all being exploited. Hampton starts meeting with them. This is the problem. This new emerging Black power people, the Black Panther Party, meeting with the poor whites. Yeah. And not only that, on the other side, he meets, and that's why I'm mad now, because I don't know what I did with the book. I brought it out. My man Lance Williams. Hold on, this is gonna bother me because wait a minute. Here we go. He meet with the gangs. Fred Hampton meets This is a book by Natalie Moore, good sister Natalie Moore, Howard grad, and Lance Williams. My man Lance Williams works at the Center for Inner City Studies, the Jacob Carruthers Center for Inner City Studies, by the way. The Almighty Black Peastone Nation. This is the history, the rise, fall, and resurgence of an American gang. Now, everybody knows the Blackstone Rangers, the Vice Lords, the Gangster Disciples, you know, in Chicago. Hampton reaches out to Jeff Fort, who is with Hampton? Bobby Rush, Congressman Bobby Rush now, who's also a Panther in the Illinois chapter in Chicago. They saying, hey, we should have some kind of coalition. Can we figure out a way to build political power together? And the gangs is like, yeah, you want to join the gang? I don't know. You want to have a conversation? Because Jeff Fort is brilliant. Meanwhile, what does counterintelligence program do? Counterintelligence program, the United States government, get Kenneth O'Reilly's book, Racial Matters, is a good, like, 1-volume kind of gloss on it, but you can get the COINTELPRO papers and many other books. What you see is they're like, oh, this is a problem. This guy Hampton is a problem. Black Panthers are a problem generally, but Hampton is a real problem. Hampton is building an interracial coalition, and he's talking to the gangs. This could be a real problem. In fact, you know what they named their interracial coalition? The Rainbow Coalition. Jesse Jackson, by this time, is also in Chicago. This is where the name Rainbow Coalition comes from. It's for Hampton and them, the white, the young patriots. You know, you got the Latinos in there. You got, or Hispanics, they may be called at that point. I mean, these labels don't fit anybody, right? You got the gangs they want to talk. So what happens is the FBI sends a letter to Jeff Fort, the head of the Peastone Rangers, talking about Peastone Nation, that, you know, this is just from concerned brother. I understand that it's going to be some violence, and I think that they're going to try to have you have a hit taken out on you. And according to Moore and Williams, they say Jeff Fort just starts laughing. He said, I know it's the police, because black people ain't going to send you no message talking about, I think they're going to put a hit on you. No, they just going to do it. So he said, I know it's the police, but here's the problem. The cops decide this guy got to go. So they recruit an informant named William O'Neill. And this is the informant, as you were talking, you mentioned earlier, the FBI informant. He's in Cook County Jail when he's approached by another dude and says, you know, look, we're going to kind of keep you out of jail, but you're going to have to inform on us. So O'Neill joins the Black Panther Party, becomes the chief of security, and it is William O'Neill who draws the floor plan for the police, who in a pre-dawn raid between this incipient murder contract, basically, between the Chicago FBI and the Chicago police. Edward O'Halloran is the Cook County attorney, authorizes the raid. And normally when they do a raid under the extension, they're looking for weapons. That was the warrant they had. They're looking for illegal weapons. But they didn't come with tear gas. They didn't come with, no, they came loaded with all of these extra guns and all this kind of ridiculous caliber weapons. They came in there to execute a murder contract. And somewhere just before 5 o'clock in the morning, they busted in there and they murdered Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. In fact, according to the testimony, Sister Njeri, Sister Akua Njeri, his wife, intents purposes, he says, she says, you know, I heard them talking, and I heard one of them say in the other room, the bedroom where we were. After I'm out of the bedroom, and he's talking about, wait, I think he's still alive. They said she heard 2 more gunshots. Fred Hampton is dead. It's execution, damn devils. And it isn't the execution, although it should be the execution. And I say that because we saw what happened in Louisville day before yesterday, the Not Effing Around Coalition, right? NEAC. The people who have been in the street with others saying, you know, we gotta, you know, we want justice for Breonna Taylor. Y'all gonna stop doing this damn police brutality. The Louisville Police Department, along with the damn Secret Service. Now, this is in Louisville, Kentucky, where they've been organizing, right? Tamika Mallory, Linda Sarsour, everybody, Nick Cannon's been down there. You know, Sean Mickens, my man, Sean Ali Mickens, Young Cat, Sophomore Howard. They've been in the streets, right? I mean, Daniel Cameron, of course, on the wrong side of history and his whole bloodline on the other side. Well, they arrested this brother yesterday, John Fitzgerald Johnson, the man they call Grandmaster J. Can't get no more American than John Fitzgerald. Well, unless you're talking about Irish immigrants who acquired whiteness in Boston under Honey Fitz and then wrap themselves in the American flag. The man named John Fitzgerald, but they call him Grandmaster J. He was arrested yesterday and charged with assault attempted assault on police officers, saying that they pointed a gun at him. He wasn't arrested in Kentucky. He's across state lines at his apartment in Ohio. You know what? They done made this federal, just like when they collaborated to kill Mark Clark and kill Fred Hampton. The damn police still doing it. And this brother's crime, they had weapons. The Not Effing Around Coalition believes in self-defense, like the Black Panther Party for self-defense. That's the trigger, one of the triggers, but the trigger in the case of the execution of Mark Clark and Fred Hampton, the trigger is they doing interracial politics. They are potentially putting together an incredible coalition. They bringing in the gangs. This could be a problem because we need these gangs. We need black on black violence as this trope that we have. In fact, at the funeral, Bobby Rush talks about this among others, and they write about it in the Almighty Peace Stone, Black Peace Stone Nation. Ralph Abernathy, I want to say, was giving the eulogy at the funeral. And yeah, he was giving a speech. This is what they say. This is what Bobby Rush said. I recall right in the middle of civil rights leader Ralph Abernathy's speech, I heard a shuffle. I looked toward the rear of the church and Jeff came in, Jeff Fort, the leader of the Black Peace Stone Nation. 2,000 Stones walked in wearing red berets and dark sunglasses. They spoke not a word, but marched around the church, then marched back out. Now, this is what the FBI was trying to stop. So I'll stop with this last comment. Pause with this last comment. We know why Bobby Rush, former Panther, beat the tar out of a young, ambitious politician named Barack Obama. First time he ran for Congress. Black people don't know Barack Obama. We know now when President Obama and Jim Clyburn and others are saying, defund the police is a slogan. Don't, overuse that. We want some of the same things. But, when you say something like that, you're alienating people. Completely undermining the fact that that phrase is attended by a heavy concentration of young organizers, young people like Rosa Parks encouraged and Ella Baker, young people like the Claudette Colvins of the world, young people like the Fred Hamptons and Mark Clarks of the world. But if you're gonna pick sides, then first of all, you shouldn't pick sides. We should all figure out a way to do this thing together. But if you're gonna talk craziness like that, never forget, President Obama, that the reason Black people supported you was with the idea that you were going to enact policy that would help enact policy that was going to advance all of us. You swung and missed on a lot of it. Obamacare, that's good. I mean, you did some good things, but at the same time, bruh, stop talking, man, because we got real open enemies out here in these streets. And as Ayanna Pressley, Congresswoman Pressley, as Congresswoman Cori Bush and them have said, Ocasio-Cortez have said, yeah, you shouldn't be chastising the people trying to stop the violence. You should be chastising the people trying to cause the violence. So, I mean, it's a different, but we see some of these same tensions from then, we see now.